reports. We don't want secret grand jury proceedings. We don't want secret medical examiner reports. We want all threats investigated. We want the truth behind that audio. I want to know. And I want everybody on that boat polygraphed. We
come down here, do anything other to get the truth. Did you kill Nolan? Did you have anything to do with Nolan's death? Or did you delete anything out of Nolan's phone?
If this were your child, wouldn't you want to know what happened?
Detail Assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can you all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the work coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
Hey.
Yes, how far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
What did we just hear? What was that? One more time, please.
Detail Assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can you all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the work coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
Hey.
Yes, how far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking.
Since March of last year, 17 months, there's been 24 African Americans, as of today, 24 African Americans found hanging from trees across the United States of America. Just this past week alone, there's been at least 2 cases. You understand? And in case after case after case, the local coroners very predictably declared these as suicides without any serious forensic investigation taking place at all. No follow-up. You understand me? Not to mention the Nolan Wells case from the 4th of July, when he went out with those 4 or 5 white kids in Mississippi. They came back and he didn't come back. You understand? And all those white boys, they're the sons of the local power structure. That's who they are. They shrug their shoulders. Their parents shrug their shoulders. The police shrug their shoulders. The judges, the media, the power structure. Everybody shrugs their shoulders about what could have possibly happened to Nolan Wells. It's a mystery, which makes it no mystery at all. Which makes it no mystery at all. But see, they'll gaslight you into thinking that you're being overly suspicious. You're being overly cynical, and the problem is that you want answers, not that they don't have any answers. The problem is that you want the answers that they don't have, which is just a way to try to make you accept that same unspoken answer that black communities in Mississippi and throughout the South and throughout the United States always got. You understand me? About Nolan Wells and about the other 24 African Americans found dangling from tree branches across that country. Never mind that black Americans are demographically the population that is absolutely the least likely group of people to ever commit suicide by hanging themselves. That's documented. That's not an opinion. So when a method that is statistically rare for this specific population, when that shows up again and again and again in public spaces, in trees, outside of schools, outside of homes, and it gets closed as a suicide without any comprehensive investigation whatsoever, without any real forensic follow-through, well, everybody knows what's going on. Everybody understands what's going on. Listen, 24 in 17 months, that is roughly equivalent to the rate of lynchings in America during the 1920s. You understand me? No, when a black person is found hanging from a tree in the United States of America, the default assumption of investigators should always be lynching. It's like if a woman turns up dead, the first thing that you're going to do is suspect the husband or suspect her ex, right? You start with the presumption of foul play. You start with the presumption of homicide. You start with a presumption of foul play, which is exactly what you should do in every single one of these cases. If you find a black person hanging from a tree in America, you should treat it the same as if you see someone who's been double tapped in the back of the head. And if you do rule it as a suicide, if you rule that as a suicide, the moment that you zip up the body bag, why, we have every reason to believe that you're the one who did it. Yes, and you're going to have to prove otherwise. I'm telling you, if you rule something like that, as a suicide, that ruling is in and of itself incriminating evidence against you. You can't tell anyone, you can't tell any serious, intelligent person that there's no evidence of foul play. No. If an African American is hanging from a tree in the United States of America, that is the evidence of foul play by default. You might as well say that JFK killed himself before you say that a black man or a black woman strung themselves up in Mississippi and expect anyone to believe you. And if you say they did that, then we need to search your property for ropes. You understand? Especially when you claim it's a suicide before you've even cut them down from the tree.
And something very interesting we have figured out. Nolan Wells' mother, Christine Wansley, said that when her family recovered his phone and checked it, some texts appeared to be missing, right? And his 2 Snapchat accounts had absolutely nothing in them from the relevant period, 4th of July, the day after, whatnot. The 24 hours was missing. Now, she found that especially suspicious because they recovered the phone less than 24 hours later when she expected recent Snapchat content to still be visible. As she stated, Nolan was constantly posting on Snapchat, so this is very odd that there is no video content, no pictures, no nothing. Now, further, Snapchat accounts had absolutely nothing, correct? This allegedly, on the ledge of allegedly looking down, would confirm that somebody tampered with his phone because Snapchat sends out holiday messages like Happy 4th of July, and that was not even there. Do you understand? So if his phone said Happy 4th of July and nothing else, then it would maybe be odd. Like, how did he not post all day? But it would maybe lead us to not be as suspicious as we are. But the fact that this Happy 4th of July message was erased, and Snapchat does this, they send you a message, leaves it in the incredibly sus category, and makes it even more valuable that the mother has subpoenaed CETO, all of these Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, everybody, WhatsApp, so we can get answers for what happened to Nolan Xavier Wells. No justice, no peace.
I have an update for you in the Nolan Wells case. Nolan Wells' family has hired an audio expert to clean up the CETO call from July 4th. And there's one part people are really zeroing in on, people who are watching about this. The dispatcher asks whether everyone is on board. The call appears to say...
All right. And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's
How
on
many...
board.
Yeah, everyone is on board. That's what the caller appears to say. Now, some people are hearing that and saying that it conflicts with later accounts about Nolan being left behind on Horn Island. Maybe. We don't know. We have to be careful here because we don't know exactly what the caller meant by everyone who they believe was on board at the moment, or whether that interpretation is even correct. So that's all speculation right now, but they are examining. They hired a forensics audio person to deal with this, or an audio expert. For weeks, people online have been trying to solve this case by listening to muffled audio and deciding what they think it means. That's not enough. The experts may be able to tell us more clearly what was said, but what it means, that's supposed to be established by the evidence in the investigation. And that's where we are right now.
Y'all, we're about to get some answers regarding that CETO call because Nolan Xavier Wells' family went and hired an audio expert to analyze and break down completely that CETO call. We all know that we heard what we heard when it was officially released by the MDMR. And of course, there was a lot of skeptic people out there thinking that those that enhanced it so that they can hear clearly what we all heard, assumed or thought that they inserted certain names or they inserted certain things to... But we all know what we heard. Anyways, at the end of the day, prayerfully, we will get some answers. Obviously, when the family sees fit to share what the experts find. And so, because, I don't know about nobody else, but for me, I was feeling like Vicky was asking specific questions because she heard what we heard as well, but we're about to find out because again, they went and hired an audio expert that's going to break it all down for them, prayfully for us too, and because they are crossing every T. So picking up from the last video I just made, so as we know that Morgan, Trayson, and Wyatt met, and all of the other ones met on Horns Island to speak with the officials. Talk about Trayson real quick. I don't know why Trayson would throw all of these people under the bus. Trayson said that he made the slick comment to Nolan about Katie. Warren said the same thing too. They made a slick comment to Nolan about the girl that he was with. Again, alleged that it was Katie. Well, it wasn't Katie. And remember, I said, well, who is the freaking girl? Because it can't be Katie, because we all assumed that it was Katie. It was Lainey. Now, the people that was named in the MDMR, they're all friends with Trayson and Trayson's sister, which is why I don't understand why. So yes, that picture that Katie took with the snapshot and it says 6 something, that's Lainey with her face taken out. Like, so his longtime boyfriend is Drew Johnson, who was also named in the MDMR. Let me show you again. Now, Jay said that when she did her homework, she saw that Drew Johnson was also friends with Wyatt, Warren, and Morgan. He went and looked, and Drew Johnson is the only one who is friends with Nolan. Now, I know you're like, royalty. Okay, put the pieces together. Okay, well, Drew Johnson, who is also in the MDMR report, is Lainey's boyfriend. A relationship with Nolan, allegedly. We're going to say allegedly with everything. No, she was involved with Nolan at some point while she was still dating Drew at the time.
So here's what happened. They killed Nolan Wells on the boat. They covered him up with the life jackets. They all knew he was on the boat. They just laid him on the back of the boat and got towed in part of the way. Then they got their boat running and they got on in. And when they got in, they couldn't figure out where they were going to put him or what they were going to do. So they dropped everybody off. Then they went back out to the island that the GPS doesn't show, but they did because they disconnected it. Okay, and none of them had their phones with them when they went back. So there wasn't any trace of them going back. And they dumped the body. They came back, took the boat out of the water, then went over there at 3 a.m. and washed the boat, thinking washing the boat would get all the DNA and everything off the boat. That's what they did. Now I'm telling you, the stories are unbelievable at this point. You can't make this up. You know, first it was about leaving the island. Well, that one blew up. Found out 2 people were at the island, saw him. Then the Coast Guard, Coast Guard call, CETO call. Nolan, oh my God, Nolan, get up. They heard that. Can't make it up. Not making it up. Then there was the phone, Warren's phone. Now, this. And also, last night, we have a bunch of body experts of their body movements in their interviews that they were not telling the truth. That they're body experts, they moved their eyes like that or moved like that or, they looked up or, something. But I'm telling you, the authorities should use these TikTok creators to solve this case. They are some of the smartest people you will ever encounter.
This is why I was so mad at the people in Mississippi. Because they are dragging their feet, taking their time. This whole time, you got people out here trying to sell evidence and shit.
Found them. I found all the people that were on Katie's boat, y'all. Shout out to the real Jada J that turned me on to this picture. And as y'all can see, we've got a match with the necklace and the swimsuit. Think I busted out my glasses and red lipstick just for the swimsuit? Nah. Now, as I talked about yesterday, we've all suspected that this is Kendall for a while now. The identity of this curly-haired girl has always eluded us. Well, not anymore, folks. For now, I'm gonna just refer to these girls as T and L. As you can see, L clearly has the same kind of hair texture that's in the bottom of this picture. We know that these two were together on 4th of July, and T did not one, but 2 Nolan tributes after his body was found. Now, another one of their friends had a reel, which they did a little panning video on the best 4th of July ever. And who was in that video? Well, that looks to me to be Jacob, Kendall's longtime boyfriend. So it seems confirmation to me that both Kendall and her boyfriend were on this boat the entire day. Now that I have found this group of friends, I was scouring the pictures and I found this. We've got Elle with somebody I immediately recognized because I remembered that swimsuit and they tried to hide this picture in a document dump so you didn't know what day it was. Well, if it isn't Nevaeh.
Oh, she back! She back!
Same swimsuit, same belly ring, and there she is clearly earlier in the day with Kendall, clearly on the same boat. And just in case you didn't see my video on the Tube of You yesterday, or just need a reminder, here was the friend group breakdown that I had. But to me, this seemingly clearly confirms that these two were on this boat probably all day. I say this because there's another picture from the summer with Nevaeh with the little pink cup right here. You can see the pink cup in the lap of Kendall up here, along with the matching, poles and this, all of it matches. Now I want to go back to this picture because in the background there, you see somebody seemingly approaching the group to join them to go out in red shorts. And y'all know that I've been saying for a while that in my humble opinion, I believe that the person in red shorts is Warren's brother. But now I also think there's a strong possibility that it could be Lainey's boyfriend, Drew. Just as further confirmation, these glasses match the glasses that are in the Katie Snapchat. I think it's pretty safe to say that we definitely found the people that were on the boat with Katie. Now here's where it gets a little interesting to me though. Look at how late in the day this picture seems to be taken. And they clearly were still out at night. So did they drop everybody else off? Did they come back out? Got a lot of unknowns here, but I did my social media scour. And let me explain to you what I found. So we've got L and T on the boat with Kendall and Nevaeh, like we've confirmed that. We also know at some point Katie was on the boat with them as well. T was the only one that seemed to be connected to Nolan on social media. Now remember how the person who released the Snapchat pictures of Katie said that they were not friends with her? Well, I found that T was actually connected to a lot of people social media wise, whether they were following her or she was following them. I was able to find Javon. I was able to find Ava D, the girl from the party. I was able to find the entire Hudson family, as well as Katie, Lainey, Trin, Ava, all of the other friend group, the core group that I talked about yesterday. And I found out that L was either following or was followed by Ava, Jax, and Bart. Now here's the real kicker. When I went to T's Book of Face page, I found out that she was FB friends with not only Warren's mom, but Bart's mom as well, and several other adults that are close friends with that mom group. And I also found out that Lainey and Nevaeh are both friends with the older McGrath brother, but it seems like he was in Texas at the time, so most likely he was not on the boat or around for this. However, he does have a younger brother who is friends with T on social media. And that makes me wonder if the younger McGrath brother might have been on that boat. Now remember, Lainey said that she was not on Horn Island. She was with a different group of friends on a different island altogether. But now I'm wondering if this boat, this group, might have been the other group that they got into the altercation with. Because remember, they specifically said that they knew the guy, like knew of him, but they weren't like friends with him. Because does nobody else think it's weird that whoever else they were fighting on the beach hasn't come forward? Especially if they were people that didn't really know these people? But could this boat have been the fourth boat that we've seen? Because if this is the same red shorts guy, then how did he get onto the other boat?